Hi everyone, this is Dr. Cushinberry, and I wanted to come and talk to you about what my overall experience has been as a former executive, a Black woman who has been the first. I have been the first in my career 4 times in 4 executive roles. I've been the first black woman. And I will tell you the feeling time and time again, 4 times, has been like, okay, so have you ever gone to someone's house or been invited to dinner, right? And they tell you what the menu's gonna be. Oh my God, it just sounds like a wonderful menu. And they tell you, be there because dinner's gonna start at 4 o'clock sharp. So be there at 4, it'll be ready. Come on over. They invite you to their dinner. And you show up at 4 o'clock sharp, ready. And listen, hungry, ready for this meal that they've described. And when you get there, you look around, the table's not set, pots are barely boiling. There's raw meat that's still marinating or just about to get put on that if you're a cook, will probably take about an hour and a half. They aren't ready. That is the way it feels. That's the way it feels when you are an executive, a Black woman executive, invited to these organizations that say they want diversity beyond just diversity's sake, but they aren't ready. You think, like you would for that dinner, I should have gone somewhere else, or I should have ate before I got here. I should have managed my expectations. But many of us go into these organizations with the expectation of bringing our experiences, our creativity, our brilliance, our excellence, our ability to learn and grow and to do great work, to build culture. All of these things, we bring those expectations. That's like coming to that table. You bring your appetite. You're ready. And because you have been told the things that will be available to you, you expect that. But many of you organizations are not ready. Stop inviting us to the table when you are not ready. And here's the funny part. Unfortunately, many of you don't even know you're ready. Even when you're working with recruiters who are trying to help you, you're still not ready, because much of what you are held back by and blinded by is tradition, history. It's systemic. You're used to it. It's the way you operate. You say you want the Black voice and the Black experience, but you don't. You just want the Black. You just want the woman. You just want the Black woman. You don't want everything else that comes with it. And the level of tolerance that I have seen across my career for other leaders ahead of me or even after me blows me away. It has blown me away. The standard that they hold us to, and really what it is a result of, is, again, that inviting us to the table and not being ready. There's a lack of trust. If we ask too many questions, if it doesn't feel like what they've already known or experienced, if it doesn't look the way they think it should look or feel the way they think it should feel, all of those things it's like a protective thing happens for them, where they feel like they've got to circle the wagons because they don't trust us. They don't trust to build with us because their intention in their hearts, bless their hearts, is something else than what they're able to fulfill. I have gone through 4 different roles, and every time, in terms of being the first, I've been in more than that in terms of executive positions, but 4 where I was the first. And in each time, the weight that comes with it is tremendous. I have carried with me the expectation of my name. I'm literally carrying the expectation of my name. I'm named after my maternal grandmother, so I don't want to let that down. I carry the ancestors with me, especially my direct lineage of ancestors, not to mention just wanting to do well. Um, as a person that I consider myself a gifted black woman, I just want to do well. I want to represent well all the time. Recognizing I'm human. I'm gonna err. I'm gonna not make always the greatest decisions, but the intention is to do the right thing. I am going to, in those different experiences, I'm going to always bring in, thinking about black staff members who have sometimes never had a black executive, more or less anyone, a supervisor. Some of them have never even had that. So I bring that, like, that's a representation piece, and especially for women, black women, no matter the age, to trailblaze and open up doors and to show that it can be done. But when we as black women leaders are up against institutions and histories that think there is no ceiling and there's actually an entire brick wall above us, it's hurtful. Can you imagine trying to soar and hit your head up against a brick wall? It hurts. And that's the thing I don't think people think about. They look at us and they do things, they say things. I've been stabbed in the back. I've essentially had people almost spit in my face. Say things to me, about me, and they don't think I feel it. Us being smart and strong and brilliant, it doesn't make us impermeable to pain. It doesn't mean that the way these organizations treat us isn't hurtful, embarrassing. And here's the thing. It's very hard for us because there aren't many people we can talk to. Almost every executive that I know in my field, in the nonprofit field, or what was my field, one of the things I say all the time is it's lonely. It's a lonely job. Well, it is, especially for us when we can't talk about some of the things we experience because it's not understood. You just can't get it. Some of you just don't get it. And many of the decisions that are driven with us in mind are about relationships that have absolutely nothing to do with us, saving face with others that have absolutely nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with whatever means something to the decision makers. That's just it. Whatever they value. And time again, we feel it. I literally, this was several years ago, but I literally was so hurt, so sad in a role that I was sitting on my couch and I was leaning over my couch just boo-hoo and just crying my eyes out and watching my tears hit the floor. Okay, cue drama, right? But I was crying and I was praying. I was like, God, let these tears like make fertile ground for where my feet will stand later. Like, Lord, help me, deliver me, help me. And in retrospect, that prayer was, and that deliverance was because I wasn't in a position to have my own. I was waiting for the next position, waiting for the next role. And so when you don't trust yourself to do that, you don't feel like you have the resources in place to do that, then, and you're challenged with a person who loves to lead, and it is a gift of yours, then you end up taking on another opportunity. And I know some of you may say, no one asked you to take the heaviness of like the ancestors. Nobody asked you to do that. Nobody tell you to try to be the black woman. I'm sure that will be said. But when you have a mindset to open doors for other people, no one has to tell you to do that. No, I don't need anybody to set an expectation for me. I set the expectation for myself. And I think that the harder part, as I was alluding to, is like just not being able to talk about it with others. Across my career, I have eaten and swallowed so much hurt. I've eaten and swallowed so much like clear like disparity and different treatment, and I've just eaten it and swallowed it. I think for probably up till maybe about 15, 20 years ago, I was so naive, and I have such great admiration for women, black women in my generation who 15, 20 years ago were far ahead of me in terms of being conscious and aware of disparities and the differential treatment for black women and others. I'm so grateful that I ultimately became surrounded by some amazing women along my journey. I remember as a kid, I would see much, much older people, like super Afrocentric, the kente cloth wearing. I was like, what is going on? But I get it. You live enough and you experience enough and you see it enough that you then recognize how important it is to be connected to your roots. You understand how important it is to love yourself, to value yourself, even if people don't understand why you're wearing the kente cloth. You wear it anyway. Even if people don't understand why you say Black Lives Matter, you say it anyway. Because they won't get it. They won't get it. And that's the other hard pill to swallow. They won't ever get. Due process looks different for us. Expectations look different for us. I think when people hire black women, they're looking for, the presence, but they aren't ready when the real change starts happening as a result of how we lead. So, we end up where I am now. And I wish I had done it sooner. But after the last role that I had, I didn't want to go back into the workforce. Life experiences played a part in it, but also just with time, trusting myself in a way that I didn't years ago. I set myself up to launch my consulting business again in a much stronger place, to work for myself, to determine which clients I would take. This is so beautiful because I have such a range of skill sets that it's so wonderful to be able to partner with. So shout out to my clients. Thank you. It's also wonderful to know that I've contributed as a first 4 times for the mentees for that I have. And again, shout out to my mentees. I'm so proud of all of you. I love you. And to the black girls that have seen me, know me, even the ones who didn't know me but got a chance to see me. I remember being on a Zoom meeting with some staff members, and it was for new staff members, and there was a black woman, new staff member, and she's like, I know it's maybe inappropriate, but can you hold just a second? She said, I would love for my daughter to see you. So she brought her daughter into the Zoom camera and said, this is, so this is our executive. That's what I was doing it for. And I don't have biological children. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, god nieces and nephews as well. And one of my god nieces, her name is Bailey. Hey, Bailey, TTK loves you. When I was on the cover of a magazine, her parents videoed her reaction to seeing me on the cover. And that's what we do it for. That's what I do it for. Her parents were just so proud because it wasn't just any black woman. It was someone she knows loves her. It's someone she knows. We're doing it for the impact that we can make in these businesses, corporations, educational institutions, organizations. We're coming in with our intentions laid out on the table, and it doesn't feel good and it's not right. Organizations and businesses and corporations, educational institutions, stop inviting us if you know you're not ready. If you think you might not be ready, stop it. Just stop. To all of the black women executives who have blazed a trail, who have opened doors, who have cried, who have exercised, done yoga, whatever has gotten you through those tough times, and you did it anyway. Thank you. And in the words of Snoop Dogg, I'd like to thank myself. I have gone through some things across my career, but I'm so grateful for where I sit right now and the ability to choose myself. One of my cousins sent me an article earlier today, and it was talking about that it's not a surprise that there's an increase in Black female entrepreneurship. We don't trust the system. We don't want it. We don't like it. We believe, I think many of us believe that it is better to value ourselves in our own way and create our own pathways rather than attempt to trust a system that we know is not capable of reciprocating the trust or the willingness to grow together. And this is not a knock to any organization that I've worked with. No knock at all. This is just me sharing my experiences across my career for executive roles, and it's just a real thing. It's a real thing. I'm thankful. I'm so grateful to be able to do the consultancy work that I do. I love it. I'm grateful and happy. Life is good, very good, and I'm enjoying the freedom. Um, I am praying for every Black female executive that continues to sit in those roles. I'm praying for your strength. I'm praying for those around you, that God surrounds you with people who will care for you and take care of your talent, and that you will have wisdom and foresight and insight as you navigate all that is ahead of you, and for every Black woman that seeks to walk in those pathways, I pray the same for you. All right, everybody. I am grateful that you had this time with me and you let me share. Um, I think that's all I have for today. I'm grateful. Value yourself. Choose you. Make decisions that are good for you and your family. Trust Black women. Take care.